Hey everybody, how's it going? It's John with ACTION-FLIX.com coming at you. I got my review of The Fall Guy. I was able to watch it yesterday. I went to see it with my wonderful, beautiful 16-year-old daughter in Panama City. I went to the IMAX screening, the very first IMAX screening for The Fall Guy, and I am super excited to talk about this movie. I'm kind of I'm probably gonna take some shit from some people because like I've been reading around like a lot of people are having problems with the movie, in terms of the longevity of it, certain sequences, a lot of the banter between stars Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt. I'm gonna give my perspective on it. I'm gonna give you my take on it. You could take it for what it's worth or not. I don't care. I'm like I said, I run an action film website, so when action movies come out, I review them and I give my honest opinion about what I felt about it, and I always back it up. So yeah, let's get started. We are talking. Well, first of all, we got to get jocked up here. Yep, we got Schwarzenegger and the manliest handshake heard around the world. I got to do my stretches and a little dancing to get everybody excited. There you go. Thank you, Mr. Von Dam. All right. Yep. There he is again. Oh, okay. Don't hog the spotlight. No hogging the spotlight. All right. So we're talking about The Fall Guy, the big movie from director David Leitch, which we all know. David Leitch and his 87 North production banner and Universal Studios, which he's currently making films for. He's made Deadpool 2, Hobbs and Shaw, Bullet Train. Now, here's the thing about director David Leitch. Now, obviously, we know he was connected with Chad Stahelski with the first John Wick movie. He was kind of like a co-director of the first movie, and they delivered that movie, which again is excelled into a wonderful franchise and has pretty much cemented the fact that filmmakers that come from a stunt background know how to do action movies. David Leitch. Now, here's the thing: David Leitch has kind of gone off a direct different path than Chad. Chad's movies, he's been directed his movies. A lot of and most of his movies are action comedies. So if you take it, his filmography right now, he did Deadpool 2, obviously, Marvel 20th Century Studios comedy with action in it. He did Hobbs and Shaw again, a lot of comedy in it, with the banter between Jason Statham and The Rock. And he did Bullet Train. Again, a lot of humor in Bullet Train. And now he does The Fall Guy, which again has a lot of humor in it. So David's doing the action thing. He's doing his thing. He's doing the stunts and the epic set pieces and the storytelling, but he's doing it with a comedic flair, which I'm digging. So he's like, you know what? I'm gonna do my own thing. I'm gonna do some now. Obviously, David will probably make a serious action movie sooner or later. But for now, he's doing the comedy thing, and now he's got some big A-list celebrities to help him out in Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt. And Emily Blunt, let me say, just delightful. I love Emily Blunt. I mean, she's a wonderful actress. She was in Edge of Tomorrow with Tom Cruise, Sicario, The Devil Wears Prada. She was on Howard Stern this past Monday. Delightful interview. Such a wonderful lady and a great interview. So if you are able to listen to Howard Stern on Sirius XM, make sure you do so because it's a great interview. But here we go. We're talking about The Fall Guy. Now, here's the thing. Now, The Fall Guy is based on the epic 80s television series, which starred Lee Majors and, of course, Heather Thomas, who was one of the hot commodities at that time. And Lee Majors played Colt Seavers, a stuntman who moonlighted as a bounty hunter, and would go after people and stuff like that. And of course, in the process of got himself into situations where he would have to do his stuntman thing for real. So here we have Ryan Gosling taking over his reboot, remake. You could call it what you will, but it's definitely a different take on it. Now, here's the thing: like a lot of people are complaining. This comes from some people that are fans of the television show that this does not look like the television show whatsoever. No kidding, it's not supposed to look like the television show. If it did, it probably wouldn't make any money. No offense to that great television show, but that was made back in the 80s. And here's the thing: The Fall Guy, directed by David Leitch and starring Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt, has a throwback 80s romantic comedy action vibe. And a lot of people are complaining about that, and I'll get back to that in a second. So we got Ryan Gosling starting as Colt Seavers, who is just a stuntman in this movie. He is not a bounty hunter. But if you read on social media, there's a lot of people saying that this is an origin story for Colt Seavers. So this is David Leitch doing an origin story for Fall Guy, and Colt he hasn't become a bounty hunter yet. So if the movie is a success, which I'm thinking it's going to, I mean, they're saying it's going to open with a soft 35 million dollar opening. I mean, we'll take it for what you will, but I think it's going to make enough money to warrant further entries, and it might just become a franchise that Colt will become a bounty hunter in future installments. But here he's just a stuntman, okay? So as the movie starts, he's having a great life. He's the professional stuntman for Aaron Taylor Johnson's Tom Ryder. Yeah, there we go. There he is, right there. And again, Aaron Taylor Johnson. A lot of people say he doesn't have a lot of charisma, or he's kind of deadpan. Not in this movie, let me tell you. But yeah, he's Tom Ryder, and he's one of those divas. He's a big time action star, and he does absolutely none of his own stunts. That is Colt's job. Colt does everything for Tom when it comes to the physical stuff. But Tom Ryder is not. He's not afraid to admit that he does his own stunts, which is BS, because we all know that Colt Seavers is the one that is doing all this stuff. Now, of course, we have Emily Blunt, who, as it starts off, is the cameraman or camera person. I'm sorry, she's a camera person, and she and Colt are in a relationship. It's a fling, or whatever you call it. And unfortunately, a stunt that Colt is doing, it's a fall from a high rise, goes wrong, and Colt breaks his back. And 18 months later, he's kind of like exiled himself. He's gone out of the profession. He's ghosted Jody, and he's parking cars. He's a valet for a Mexican restaurant, and he's just doing his own thing. He's Here's the thing with Colt. He feels that he failed. Like he the stunt went wrong, but it was his fault, and he got hurt because of it. And then, like, he cannot no longer be a stuntman because of what happened. So he has exiled himself, and he's doing he's cutting bonsai trees, and doing his thing. But then the producer of the film calls him up and says, "Hey, he's like, how'd you get this number?" And but of course, it's like she found it, and she's like, "I need you to come, do this movie, and Jody's now directing it. It's called Metal Storm." And here's the thing: I love David. This is a direct homage to Metal Storm: The Destruction of Jared Said. They even say it's high noon at the edge of the universe, but that tagline was high noon at the end of the universe, but it is edge of the universe. So it's a total shout out to Metal Storm, the wonderful 3D 80s sci-fi action movie that's totally obscure. Nobody watching this probably knows even what I'm talking about, but I love the fact that it was a total homage to Metal Storm: The Destruction of Jared Said. High noon at the edge of the universe, everybody. But yeah, she's directing, and she tells him that she wants him back. So as soon as he hears that, Colt's on a plane to Sydney, Australia. Yeah, he's going. He's like, so he gets there, right? And then we got Winston Duke, who's great in this. He's the stunt coordinator. So before Colt was injured, he was, a stunt man like Cole was, but now he has since been promoted and is a stunt director, stunt choreographer, and they're good friends, and they have a lot of good banter too as well. And but it turns out Jody did not ask for him. But the reason why the producer has called him is because Tom is missing. Yes, Tom is a no-show. So she wants Colt to go find out what happened to Tom Ryder, because every day that he's not on set, she's got to cover for him, and she can only do it for 48 hours. And after that, then she's gonna have to tell people, and then it's gonna be over budget, and she's like, "Do you want Jody to lose her first directing job?" And of course, Colt's like, "No, I do not." So Colt goes on this quest to go find Tom Ryder and to see what the hell happened. Now, there's going to be spoilers in this review. So if you have not seen The Fall Guy yet, then stop watching, because I will go through spoilers. So if you've not seen the movie, you will obviously learn things that you would want not to be if you want to go see the movie. So again, that sets the stage. Okay, so of course the rest of the movie is what happened to Tom Ryder, and then Colt gets in the series. It gets in a series of misadventures. He's kind of like Jack Byrne from Big Trouble in Little China, where he's like the unsung action hero. Like he doesn't want to be an action hero, but he is. You know, he gets into these situations, but when he does, he's able to get out of it. He's able to fight. You know, he can protect himself and he can get out of situations and stuff like that. And there's a lot of situations that Colt gets into, and a lot of comedy that Colt gets into, and it goes on from there. So of course David Leitch directed this movie, and we, like I said, I mentioned him at the beginning. So here's the thing, and here's them on set. There's David on the far left, and Ryan on the GMC truck, from the production of the movie, if you will. Okay, so let's get into the story. So the story is kind of paper thin. So if you're going to think about, like, if you're going to see a movie that's deep, this is not the movie for you. This is just total straight out bombastic, epic, summer popcorn munching fare. If you want to go see a movie that's fun, it's funny, and it's got some spectacular action set pieces courtesy of action maestro David Leitch, who, again, of course, he cut his teeth in the stunt industry, and he did for many, many years, and now he's parlaying that into a successful filmmaking career and directing career. So yeah, so if you want to go see a fun movie with two great leads who have awesome chemistry together, then this is the movie for you. Now, a lot of people have said that they can't get past the paper thin plot. I was fine with it. My daughter was fine with it. If she was here, she would tell you the exact same thing. It is what it is. I mean, it's one of the negatives of the movie. I mean, it's kind of stupid if you think about it, because what happens to Tom is, okay, here's where the spoilers come into. He essentially is partying hard because he's one of those divas, that doesn't put the work in, but yet he still parties like, it's 1999. But during one of these parties, his current stuntman, obviously he got a new stuntman when Cole got injured and in a sense ghosted himself from the industry. He accidentally kills him. They're fooling around, they're wrestling, and then he kicks him into a table and kills the stunt guy. So again, they have to cover it up, and the producer's in on it too, and they have to cover it up. Now, it's kind of stupid if you think about it, because it was an accident. So if anything, TMZ would probably cover it and be like, it was unfortunate, this person died, condolences to his family and friends. I mean, it was just this. I mean, the guy was, he was at fault too. I mean, he was messing around with Tom and everything. So they probably could have dealt with this situation a little differently than, because as it turns out, then they framed Colt for the murder of said stunt guy, and of course now Colt is on the run too, as well as trying to clear his name, and of course bring Tom and the producer to justice. And of course, hijinks ensue. All right. So yeah, so the plot is super thin, people. This is not a major plot by any stretch of the imagination, but it is a plot to keep things going and to have Colt get in all these misadventures as he's doing his thing. Now let's talk about the stars. Yes, we got these two great actors. Ryan Gosling, who now, like I said, is one of my top picks to be this next generation's action star, because we all know he did The Gray Man, he did Blade Runner 2049, which didn't have a lot of action in it, but it still had action in it. Now he's in The Fall Guy, and Emily Blunt, who, again, sensational actress. And here's the thing. Here's what I loved about it. Now, of course, my 16-year-old won't know what I'm talking about. This is, and Emily even said it in her interview with Howard Stern, this is a wonderful throwback style romantic comedy with action. And it is. Okay, now, was this television show that? No. It was not. It was not. There was no love by any stretch of imagination. Lee Majors had his crew, including Heather Thomas, and they did their thing. But this is a love story, and it's okay that they did that. I didn't have a problem with the fact that these two were in love, and then they had a falling out because once not Tom, but once Colt got injured, he ghosted Jody and didn't want to, he was ashamed and he was embarrassed, and he didn't want, he felt that he was a failure and he didn't want to do anything with his life. So that's why, of course, she wanted to be there for him. And, so that's a big subplot. Of course, we got the Tom Ryder thing going on, but now, of course, we got the romance between Colt and Jody. Now, here's the thing: if you're like me, I'm 51 years old, and I'm a product of the '80s. These movies were all over the place in the '80s. You had *Romancing the Stone* and *Jewel of the Nile*. There's two big examples right there. Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner did it fantastic in those movies, and it was romantic and it was a comedy and it had action in it. So this is that type of movie. So if you're not looking for that and you're looking for a straight up, rendering of the original Fall Guy, this is not for you. And then of course Blake Shelton redoes the theme song that Lee Majors did in the show, and he changes lyrics, and people have gotten pissed off for that too. And again, I did not have a problem with it because those lyrics does not pertain to anything relevant in this day and age, and it was still fine. I get it. It's like if it's not a big deal, but whatever the case may be. Here's the thing, and then a lot of people are saying there's too much banter between Ryan and Emily, and some of it goes on for too long. Is that true? Kinda. Yeah, yeah, some of it does go on for a little bit, and even I was just like, okay, we get it. But I was still enjoying it. That's the problem. And myself and my daughter were laughing. Now, the first scene the people are talking about is when, Jody finally establishes that Colt is now on her set. And then he's essentially the only stuntman that could do this job because there's no other stuntman, as Winston's character tells her. So they're she basically ambushes him in front of the whole set, and she's talking about the plot of the movie Mental Storm, which is an intergalactic love story between a space cowboy and an alien, and she's essentially changing it to mirror their relationship. And it's funny. I laugh. My daughter was laughing. It's a funny sequence. Does it go on for a little too long? It probably did, but I was still laughing at it. And all their scenes are great, even the ones that go on too long. I forgave David and crew for could the running time have been cut by 20 minutes? Probably, and it still would have been a good movie. But okay, that's the elephant in the room. I'm sorry. As a fan of action cinema and an action blogger, as CEO of ACTION-FLIX.com, I still enjoyed that aspect of the movie. There's some people then don't, and then people are ripping the plot apart. And again, I didn't care. It's not a big deal. It's a stupid plot, but it's okay. I mean, it sets things in motion, and and basically, like, could they have dealt with the situation differently? Yes, but they're stupid. So they had this elaborate plan to frame Colt, which again sets the whole movie in motion. So I was okay with it, and it's funny. And I laughed, I watched Boy Kills World, which I loved. I gave it a 4 out of 5, but a lot of that comedy fell flat. This comedy was pretty much stuck its landing 99% of the time. And then, let's talk about the action. There is action in this movie, people. People are saying it's a romance movie with some action in it. Some action. There's a lot of action in this movie. And you got references to Miami Vice. You even have a freaking boat chase like in Miami Vice. And Ryan even wears a Miami Vice stunt team jacket because he says in the movie that was one of his first acting gigs. I'm assuming it was the movie that they made with Colin Farrell and Jamie Foxx, because he would have been too young to do the show with Don Johnson. But yeah, so there's that David throws around all these Easter eggs and everything, and you got some big time action sequences. This is one of them right here. The chase through the streets where they're on they're on like a garbage truck type of thing, and he's fighting the guys and everything. And let me tell you, him with Jean-Claude is this dog that he knows. Jean-Claude is a movie star. He does movies, and his big thing is his main talent, his superpower is he can bite men in the crotch on cue, which again is hysterical because Ryan has him do it a lot. And Jean-Claude becomes his own character in the movie and a welcome character in the movie. And these two even have great chemistry together. It's awesome. Like I said, we were laughing. I was having a good time with it. And then, of course, so that's a big action sequence. And now, when this action sequence is going on, Colt was supposed to meet Jody for karaoke. Of course, he didn't show up, but then the producer comes and says, "Oh, I gave him a ticket. I wanted him to leave." And then, so she's thinking that Colt just left without saying goodbye. So she's all pissed off. So she sings "Against All Odds" by Phil Collins. And as she's doing so, Colt's in this massive chase, um, you know, fighting for his life, and hanging on for dear life. Him and Jean Claude, and there's even a sequence where she's singing, and you see out in the window, you see them pass by, and Ryan's fighting, or Colt's fighting the main henchman on top of this this construction truck, and it's an awesome sequence, and then the boat chase was awesome, and of course we get the finale where they're on the movie set, and Jody and Colt come up with this elaborate plan to get Tom to indict himself on the murder of the stunt guy, and it turns into this epic chase scene on the set, and it's a good time, and I was digging every second of it. I'm sorry. Like, I'll defend myself. And like I said, if anybody wants to come on my show and counter, point, these things that I'm saying, go right ahead, because I'll give you my opinion. Is it too long? Yeah, it probably, I mean, it's just a little over 2 hours with credits. And like I said, there's a lot, and then there's also a great action sequence where they're him and Winston are in Tom Ryder's apartment again. They're trying to find a code for his phone, and then of course the mercenaries show up, led by Tom's head of security. We find out, and they have this big fight with them in the apartment as well. And of course, Jean Claude he does his thing as well. So yeah, the action is sensational. David Leitch, let me tell you, he's like him and Chad Stahelski, the two biggest action directors right now. Of course, we have Sam Hargrave, who's making a name for himself, JJ Perry, who's making a name for himself, Jesse V. Johnson, who's on the indie circuit. And Jesse has changed the station out this weekend that I am going to review. I've seen it, but I have to do a review. Another top action director, William Kaufman, another favorite of mine. So yeah, so these guys that know action, that's the thing. And again, it's high octane, it's sensational. The stunt pieces are epic, and it's great. And it's just, and there's a lot of it. Like I said, I can't understand what people are saying. It's a romance movie with some action. There's so much action in this movie. I don't know what they were watching, but that's what I was watching. And I'll bring my daughter on sometime, and she'll concur. I mean, she's a smart girl. She's a straight A student who has 2 jobs right now. So she's a force to be reckoned with. So yeah, she'll say the exact same thing. So I'm here's the thing. I am a fan. Okay, am I biased towards David Leitch? Yeah, because I knew of him during his days as a stuntman, and
That's me, Colt Sievers, and this is my hero's journey.
Trailer for the movie. And again, here, one other complaint I'll have: a lot of the stuff that's in the trailer isn't in the actual movie. And again, some of the banter between Emily and Ryan, which I wish would have stayed in the movie, is not in the movie. I'm not going to spoil any of that for you, but it has a lot to do with this scene. But at the same time,
because I don't either.
It is what it is. Like, movie, like they released pretty much 2 long trailers for this movie that showed you a lot of the movie. And here's the thing. We
need you to find him.
I mean, I was a fan of the movie with the first trailer. Did you have to do another trailer? Yeah, I can see why, because they want to get people hyped and everything. But they a lot of the scenes didn't make it into the final cut, or a lot of the wording, is different and stuff like that. But I wish that some of it would have stuck in there. It's a
This is
pesky
insane,
little
man.
pet peeve, that I had with the
We
movie.
got drugs,
But and then that
bad
reminds me of
guys,
the scene where he gets roofied
and murder.
and he keeps seeing a unicorn. That's funny as
What's an
hell.
ice
And he
crime?
fights,
Are you saying ice cream or ice crime? Ice crime. Okay. it's
This
two
is
ice
not
creams,
in the
sorry. I'm
movie.
not
Ice
importing
Crime.
ice
I
cream.
wish that would have been in the
I get
movie
that.
because
Okay.
him with this cop was gold. Why they
This
didn't
is an
keep that in
epic
the movie,
story.
I will never understand.
The cosmic
But this scene
proportions.
is phenomenal. Him and Winston have great
Bad
chemistry.
guys
The
and
ending is
close.
I don't
phenomenal.
hate you.
Nope.
It's
We're gonna beat the
funny.
shit out
It's
of
a throwback style, wonderful
forget
blockbuster summer
Don't mean it like that.
popcorn in your mouth, sipping your soda action
Nothing like
romantic
a good
Who
comedy.
doesn't love a twist?
What else can I say?
Who's
I mean,
next in
it's a
trouble?
Get
great.
out of my head.
Is it a great movie? I mean, what is a great movie? Citizen Kane,
From out of
Godzilla
my-
-1.
Wanna beat the
Yeah,
shit out of
Aliens. But it's a fun movie.
I have a better idea.
And
You wanna
here's
go
Jean Claude. I love him and Jean Claude.
Yeah.
And this is in the movie, and I was so
That guy's
thankful.
crazy.
And there's so much more with Jean Claude, which is phenomenal. And I was having so much
We can
fun with
surround
it.
him.
And
Beat the
that's the
shit
thing.
out of him.
And then of course that's the same with him and Winston and
One
the whole
last stunt.
ending. That's the
Going
ending
down
right
in the
there
blaze
where
of
they're trying to
glory.
get Tom to confess. And that was in there too, which is awesome. That's a great moment right there where he gives the finger to the bad guys. And it is what it is. There you go. So yeah, so I enjoyed the hell out of this movie. So what am I giving this movie in terms of a score? Now here's where I'm going to take a lot of shit from people. Now, I've reviewed a lot of movies this month. So I got Civil War, I reviewed, The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, and then I did Boy Kills World. All those movies I gave a 4 because I enjoyed the hell out of them. And I thought they were really, 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 really good movies. And for different reasons. Okay. I'm giving The Fall Guy the same thing. I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. That's right. 4 out of 5, people. You heard it here. From ACTION-FLIX.com, John Michael Jerva has given The Fall Guy a 4 out of 5 because, like I said, I had fun with this movie. The chemistry between Ryan and Emily is spot on. I will love to see them in more movies. And I would love to see more movies made by David Leitch in this franchise if it becomes a franchise and Colt becomes a bounty hunter, because that could lead to a lot of great things. And it's just a fun movie. It's I can't stress it enough. This is why you go to the movies in the summertime. Now, of course, we got Deadpool and Wolverine, but that's not on until July, so that's the middle of the summer. You always need a big summer movie to open the summer box office season. Now, is this one going to make bank like past movies that open the summer box office? Probably not. It's unfortunate, but hopefully good word of mouth, and I hope that a lot more people give it the thumbs up than give it the thumbs down, because it's a good time. Like I said, David Leitch and 87 North know what they're doing. And here's another thing with the end credits. The end credits plays out like a Jackie Chan movie. If you know Jackie Chan movies, especially during his heyday in the 80s and the 90s, when the credits roll on the Jackie Chan movie, he shows behind the scenes footage of stunts. And a lot of times he shows the behind the scenes footage of stunts gone wrong. Now, this brings up another good point that I wanted to bring up with The Fall Guy. This is David Leitch's love letter to stunt men and women everywhere. We all know that stunt people are the unsung heroes of the entertainment industry. Stunt people put their lives on the line, and sadly and unfortunately, a lot have given their lives so we can be entertained. So it is criminal. It is downright, as a fan of movies and a fan of action movies for over 40 years, it is criminal that the freaking Academy Awards does not acknowledge stunt work during the Academy Awards. They should have a separate category for stunt work. The MTV Music Awards or Movie Awards do it. I don't understand it. And they should be shot for that, because it is ridiculous, and stunt profession needs to be shown. It needs to come out of the shadows, and these men and women that put their lives on the line so we can sit our butts in the movie theater, eat our popcorn, eat our candy, and drink our soda, and can be entertained for 2+ hours. They need more recognition. They deserve more recognition. And this is David Leitch saying, hey, stunt people need and deserve your respect. And I hope with this movie, people, because how many action movies have you seen? Especially if you watch this channel or you read my website, you've seen countless action movies. And of course, you're probably one of the ones that support the action industry or the stunt industry. But it's mainstream audiences that are, and again, I'm sorry to say this, but they're naive. They don't understand what goes into making a movie, and especially an action movie. This shit's not easy, and they show it that in the movie. It's not easy, and it's hard, and a lot of things can go wrong, but these people are professionals and they're spot on, and 9.9 times out of 10 they hit the mark and stick the landing. And like I said, unfortunately, there have been many cases in the past where things have gone wrong, and people have lost their lives. And so we can watch a movie, and it's just a movie at the end of the day. So that's the other thing I wanted to say about this movie. Not only is it a good movie, not only is it a great throwback style 80s 90s romancing the stone type action comedy with Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt, with sensational action set pieces, because there's a lot of sensational action set pieces. And Jean-Claude the dog. I can't give enough props to Jean-Claude, because he is the quintessential. He's the sidekick. He becomes a sidekick. And and a funny thing about Jean-Claude is he takes his commands in French. So Colt's like shouting in French and telling him to do things. And it's a good time. Let me tell you, just going back to Jean-Claude, because like I said, he's funny. And this dog is outstanding. This dog should get an Academy Award, because he hit his marks, people. He did his job. He showed up. He came to set. He put the work in, and he did what he needed to do. So there you go. All right. So 4 out of 5 from ACTION-FLIX.com. And I know I'm going to take heat, but I don't care, because I support my reasons and my decisions with fact. Like I said, this movie, yes, it does it go on for a bit too long? Yeah. But again, the only problem with that is I didn't have a problem with it. When I was watching it, I wasn't like, oh, what time is it? Or like I said, and a lot of the banter between Ryan and Emily, we were laughing at. It was a good time. So I'm sorry. I enjoyed it, and I thought they did a great job, and I would love to see these two in future installments. Please give us more Fall Guy. And again, please make Ryan Gosling the next big action star, because, like I said, the Gray Man, I was on the fence with. You all know about the Gray Man, but I didn't hate it, but I just had my issues with it. And then this one, like I had some issues with it, but they were nowhere near to take away my enjoyment of this film. And if you stick with me and you read me and you follow me, you know that I will not steer you wrong. I mean, because with my decisions and my consensus on movies and stuff like that, you know what you're getting into when you see this movie. God forbid you've seen 8 minutes worth of trailer between the two trailers that they released. You know what you're getting into. And like I said, I don't understand why people had a problem with the romantic aspect of it. Is it heavy? Yes, it is. Did I need it? Probably not in my current state. We all know what's going on with me. I'm like, I don't really need to see pretty people kissing, but it is what it is. But I didn't mind it, like I said, because I was having fun with the rest of it. And even though it was a big part of the movie, everything else was still a big part of the movie. So there you go. There's my take on the Fall Guy from the great director David Leitch, one of the most phenomenal action filmmakers working today, just like Chad Stahelski of the John Wick movies and everybody else that I mentioned. So go see this movie. You will have a good time. Get your popcorn. Get the biggest popcorn you can. And they got those big tubs, right? Go to and get the biggest soda you can. Get the deal on candy. If you go to Regal, and I can't stress Regal enough, because they have a great deal where for $21.95 plus tax, you can see as many movies as you want. And right now you could upgrade to RPX, which is their IMAX, which we did. I always do. Yeah. So and then they offer this thing where you get a popcorn. It's like a plastic container and then a plastic container for your soda, and it's refillable. So you bring it every time, and it's only $10 for both if you refill them. And for somebody like me that is out of work right now and trying to get back into it and is on disability and has to watch his expenses because I have daughters to support, it's a great thing. And even because the 21.95 just covers me, but if I take my daughters, like my 16-year-old, like I took yesterday, or my 8-year-old, they even get discounted, which is awesome. So it's a great deal. So support Regal Cinemas, because they are really trying their best to get people's butts in the seats and to come back to the movie theaters, because we all know that the film industry has changed immensely since COVID, and a lot of people would like to stay. I mean, I love to stay home too. I'm not going to steer you wrong. If a movie comes to stream, I'm like, oh good, I get to put my feet up and watch it on my big screen TV. But there's nothing like going to the movie theater, and there's nothing like the cinema experience, especially a movie like this. You need to see this on the biggest screen possible with the best sound possible. And like I said, their RPX, they got the biggest speakers lined up on both sides of the theater, and it is just, it'll shake and rock your world, let me tell you. And a movie like this, definitely. Am I a fan of the 4DX? That's where the motion seats and they move, and every time there's an action sequence, the jury's still out about that. I went to see the Expendables 4 like that, and I think I would have enjoyed it better. I mean, I'm still a fan of it. I'm sorry. Come on my show and I'll debate it. But I probably would have enjoyed it more, if I had just seen it in a regular seat, because it takes away from your viewing experience because you're moving around so much and they're shooting air at you and water and everything. I get it. And my daughters have fun with it, but after a while, and plus my shoulder, I haven't gone since my shoulder surgery because I'm like, I don't want to aggravate my shoulder. But RPX is worth it. And this is the type of movie that you need to see this weekend. So go out, support action cinema. I always say support indie action cinema. So support Change the Station, which from the great Jesse V. Johnson, which stars Aaron Eckhart and Daniel Bernhardt. My review will be out later. So rent that on Fandango at home, support that movie, and then go to the theater and support action cinema, because we need more movies like this. Okay, my review is kind of turned into a rant, but that's okay. We need these types of movies, and I love the summertime. And hopefully, now that the writer and actor strike has been taken care of, and this year goes by, next year will totally kick ass. With all the great movies that'll come out finally, that were delayed and stuff like that. But we need movies like that. So go out and have fun. It's a fun movie. Is it overstuffed? Probably. But again, I didn't have a problem with it. I was enjoying it. The stars of the movie have great chemistry, and you just want to watch them do their thing, and they're funny and they have great chemistry together, and the supporting cast is great. Aaron Taylor. Aaron Taylor Johnson is phenomenal in it. Like I said, you'll look at Aaron Taylor Johnson differently after this movie, because he totally gives a goofball performance as the diva Tom Ryder. And then, of course, you got Jean-Claude. I mean, it's like, oh my God, let's go back to Jean-Claude. There he is again. Greatest scene in the movie right there. All right. So again, 4 out of 5, everybody. So before I go offline here, I just want to make sure that everybody likes and subscribes. I didn't want to run this during the review because sometimes it's distracting. But yeah, so if you like what you see, please hit the like and subscribe button. Like this video, subscribe to my website or my YouTube channel, as well as my website, because you can click on and subscribe to my website too on WordPress.com. And become an avid follower of ACTION-FLIX.com, and just support us fans that do these sites, because I don't get paid a lot for this. You want to know how much I got paid? I got paid $15 last month from doing this website. $15. That's not even gas. That's a half a tank of gas for my car, because usually it's like, because with gas down in Panama City, it's cheaper, which is good. But yeah, so, and that brings up my other thing. I have a donate section of the website. If you're a fan of me and you're a fan of ACTION-FLIX.com, like I said, it always costs money. Like I said, I do this on a shoestring budget. It costs money to run the website. It costs money to do StreamYard, and that's pretty much the only things I'm doing right now. And the visuals that you see at the beginning probably cost me $20 in total. I look for deals. Okay. So yeah, so it is what it is, everybody. So just support if you want to support me, you can click on it. You can, you can do one of the total, like it's like 510 or whatever, or you can do your own amount. And I have one subscriber. One person has subscribed to me, and thank you very much. He's doing monthly. It's the $15. Hey, money's money, man. And I can't thank him enough for subscribing and supporting me, because one, it helps, and two, because that 15 right there will go to help pay for StreamYard. You see what I'm saying? Because StreamYard's like $25, so that's 2/3 of StreamYard right there. There you go. So now I'm good. So yeah. So if you like what you see, if you like what I'm doing, if you like my videos, if you like the website, if you like my writing, if you like what I'm doing with the website in terms of action cinema and television shows, then please, all donations are accepted and appreciated. And thank you very much for all of you that have done it in the past. It doesn't go unnoticed, and I'm a super fan. All right, so until next time. So again, we got Change of Station coming up from the great director Jesse V. Johnson with Aaron Eckhart, who again is becoming a great action star. He put out The Bricklayer, which just came out in January. Now he's got Change of Station that hit this weekend. So yeah, check that one out. I will be doing my review on that one as well. Will it be written or will it be a video? Well, I don't know. I did a video one for the Fall Guy because my shoulder after physical therapy is crushing me, so I did not want to type. Plus, it's fun to do these videos because then you can show the visuals and everything and get more animated with it, and people get to see you. It's like that way you don't have to read it. All right. So until next time, remember, be nice until it's time to not be nice. And hopefully that never happens. Just treat others as you would want to be treated. Just remember, the world is a horror show as it is, but let's focus on the positives. Let's focus on the good things in life. Like I said, my daughters and everything, they're what keep me going. This website is my therapy. Doing these shows are my therapy. That's what gets me through the day. So yeah. So thank you so much, everybody. And until next time, have a good one. So Fall Guy, 4 out of 5. Yes, Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt, sorry, crush it with Jean-Claude. I enjoyed the hell out of it. It was a good time, and David Leitch is phenomenal, and I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see what he does next. Have a good day, everybody.